to start and everything. And there it goes. All right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another Around 30 Minutes. This is where I take, people out in the fandom and everything, the community, and I try to get people to know each other and everything, kind of a positive thing and everything like that stuff. So I've been to this for a while, and always like I always say, I have a special guest with me today, and I've known this guy for a long time. And I got Mr. Levy from the Blackout and Shout podcast, man. How are you doing? Thank you so much. I know, man. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me on my little program. I really appreciate that. How are you doing, man?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate. I really appreciate having the opportunity to come on your show.
Awesome, thank you. And I know that Mike and Jed are probably going to come in. They're part of the Blackout Show. If anybody doesn't know, I'm going to put their links to their podcast and everything. It's an awesome podcast. Y'all need to go check it out. It's a long one. Grab a lunch, grab some, soda or something, because you're going to be there for a minute. But let me ask you that. How long have you been on the Blackout and Shout, and why did you start the Blackout and Shout podcast?
Well, I think we started it in 2016. Okay. I believe, towards the tail end of 2016. It was actually Mike called me up one day and just said, "Hey, you know what we should do? We should do a podcast."
Let's do a podcast.
Just out of the blue, and I was like, "Yeah, all right." So,
I got nothing to do.
Yeah, but actually, he said he'd been listening to a lot of Shattercast at the time, and he's listening to you guys, and just he thought to himself, "Is this something that he'd like to do?" So he dragged me into it, and then we brought in Jed after a couple episodes. Jed came on as a guest, and we decided to keep him on. We felt sorry for him. So.
Oh man, that's what.
I'm kidding, Jed.
No, you're not. No, you're not. It's fine. Everybody feels sorry for Jed. That's right. No, dude, Jed's helped me, man. He's actually helping me with my homework, actually.
Yeah. Well, I just want to take this time right now to sing Jed's praises, because the Blackout and Shout podcast would not be where it is at all without his efforts. He does everything.
He does
behind the scenes. So he does all the recording, all the editing, the posting, all the promotion. He does all that. I just come in and I talk, and that's it. So
yeah, I know he does. I'm on a podcast, kind of I say a sister podcast, I guess. It's a back and forth and everything. Yes. Yeah, he does everything, and he's a wonderful and brilliant man. But he is kind of he's stuck on himself a little bit sometimes. I think it's the hair. It could be the hair or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, he's a beautiful man. With that, so I always ask this. Moving on, I will touch about Blackout and Shout a little further. But what do you collect?
Oh my God, too much, Matt. I collect way too much. It started with Transformers. I had actually started collecting those when I was a kid, and then I got out of it a little bit, and then high school came, and went on to other things. But then, back in my 20s, I started hanging out with Mike, my late teens, early 20s. And he was into Transformers like when he was a kid. And I remember one day we went to his dad's house, and his dad had his boxes of his old Transformer toys. So he brought them all home, and we just, took them out and was looking at them and everything. And that got me inspired to start collecting again. So I was collecting G1 Transformers, like the vintage G1 Transformers for a while. And then I had to end up selling off most of my collection, financial reasons and such, So I had actually gotten out of toy collecting for a while, but then I discovered third party, like in the late 2009 or so, back in the real early days of it, when it was fans
add-on kits,
doing the add-on kits and everything. And I saw that add-on kit for the Ultra Magnus. The Chud Ultra Magnus. I thought it was the coolest thing I ever saw, and I eventually ended up getting that piece much later, but that was always a piece I always wanted to get, and I did end up getting that down the road. But then after I was so I started collecting third party and official masterpiece and Chug. But then I kind of Marvel Legends caught my eye, so I started collecting Marvel Legends. And then from there, it branched out to SH Figuarts and other import figure lines like Mafex and what's the other one? Figma.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, so I was collecting, Marvel and DC figures from that, but then I got into the Mezco 112 collective.
Jesus.
So yeah, I told you I collect way too much, man. So yeah, so I'm really big into to Mezco. I kind of slowed down with that. There's a lot of releases that they've been coming out with that I just kind of passed on and stuff. So I'm kind of getting out of the Mezco, but there's still a couple pieces that I really do want to get. And then also just like, a bunch of odds and ends. And like, if I see a really cool figure that just like I don't have any real emotional attachment to, but it's just a really cool figure, sometimes I'll pick it up, and the 1000 Toys Synthetic Human. I picked that up back in 2017, I think. It's probably my favorite figure that year. Because I love highly articulated figures. So that's why I'm also into the Amazing Yamaguchi Rebel Tech figures, because the articulation on those things is top notch. It's funny though, because they actually have a learning curve when it comes to posing them, because they don't move intuitively like you think an action figure would. Their joints are strange, to say the least. But because of that, you can get them into all sorts of crazy poses. The only thing they usually don't excel at is standard A stance neutral poses.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
do that.
They've been a lot better with their later releases, but a lot of their early stuff did not look good when it was just standing, in a neutral pose on your shelf. You had to have them in some sort of dynamic pose at the right angle.
Yeah.
So they're really good for photography and for shelf display, but if you just want to have your characters standing there, like especially like the early Yamaguchi stuff, that they don't really work well with that. So, but
that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I did the Mezco. I have only one Mezco thing. I'm big in the NECA stuff right now, and I just got some bad news about the the Friday 13th, man. That really hurts. I don't know if anybody's heard that the licensing and everything, they're going back and forth.
Oh.
But I got the Mezco, the Jason. I'm a big horror fan and everything, so I picked it up, and it's all right. It's good, but it's just so small. It's so smaller than the NECA stuff, and I was like,
yeah.
So they're fine.
Did you see the Freddy Krueger they're coming out with?
Yeah, I have them on pre-order. And
yeah.
I missed the Myers, but I'm fine with NECA Myers. I'm fine with him. So I'm not really. I think he's going for a higher price than what he's.
Yeah, that's the one thing about a lot of the Mezcos. A lot of them do jump up in price.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, they're like fan toys, man. You don't get on the first time, then you're going to miss out. You're going to pay for it and everything. Mr. Retro Now, thank you for joining in. He said you're the man, Levi.
Oh, thank you very much.
He's a good dude. So, and going on to that question of what you collect. Why do you collect? Why do you collect? Have you always collected as a kid? And like you said, you kind of touched base on, you skip, most people, didn't collect as a kid, but, when we got to the teenage years, we wanted, different things, girls or whatever. And then you moved into adulthood. So was it that time when you and Mike found the G1 stuff that got you really, sparked your interest? Or why do you think you still collect now?
Because I have a sickness, I think.
Who doesn't? Come on.
No, but it's just very satisfying for me. I like having things that not a lot of people have.
Okay. Yeah.
And it just it's hard to explain. I enjoy showing off my collection. Right now, my collection's in shambles right now because my basement is being redone.
Oh,
but
nice.
Once I get that collection space redone, it's going to look absolutely beautiful. But I love having people over looking at my stuff, and then just having these toys. It really brings me back to when I was a kid, and so it brings all those emotions back for me. So.
Oh yeah, no. When you walk into when I walk into my room where I do my reviews and everything, I just kind of marvel at everything. Like I've worked hard, to get all this stuff and everything, and I would love to have a bigger space. I would love to have a basement. We don't have basements here in Arkansas and stuff, but I would love to have a basement to display everything. And I can't wait to see your collection whenever you get everything. How long do you think it'll take to get everything back up?
I don't know. Right now we're trying to fix a problem with water leaking into the basement. So my brother-in-law is working on that. So once we get that solved, then we can get on to replacing the floor and getting the walls painted and everything. And once that's all done, then I'll be able to start getting my collection set up again. So
Okay, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. I love looking at new collections and everything. It's awesome.
yeah, I'll definitely be posting pictures and videos and stuff when it comes up. So it's gonna look real nice.
Very good, very good. Okay, so who is your favorite character, and why is he or she your favorite character?
Well, as far as Transformers goes,
Transformers or anything, whichever one you want to talk about.
Well, as far as Transformers goes, Jazz is my favorite, and that's because he was the first Transformers figure I ever got.
Oh,
and
nice.
I still have my original Jazz that I got when I was a kid. I don't remember, it was so long ago, I don't remember the exact circumstances, but I remember my parents were out and the babysitter was over, and when my parents came home, they had a gift for me, and they gave it to me, and it was Jazz. And up to this point, I'd never heard of Transformers before.
Yeah.
But I looked at it and I saw it was a car, and I'm like, oh, it's a toy car. I've got toy cars. But then I started looking at the package, and it's like, oh, this thing turns into a robot. And so my dad helped me transform it. Yeah, that's what that just clicked with me, and it led to a lifelong hobby. Okay. So, as far as other favorite characters, Marvel characters would be Spider-Man and Hulk are probably my all-time favorite Marvel characters. So Spider-Man, just because he's cool, and I was really got into Spider-Man back in the McFarlane era, back in the early '90s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like my de facto Spider-Man artist. Mm-hmm. Bagley's pretty good too, but I mean, for me, it'll always be McFarlane. Nice. And Hulk is one of my favorites because he's just proof in print that all you need to solve any problem is brute force.
That's true. He's my favorite. I use when I was collecting the Marvel Legends and everything. I had a big Hulk collection, and he's always been my favorite. Let me, instead of talking about Transformers, let's go into that. How do you think they used? Do you think they used Hulk the right way in like Endgame and Infinity War?
I was not happy with
me neither
what they did with Hulk in both of those films. I think that was a real opportunity to show off exactly what Hulk could do. Mm-hmm. And they dropped the ball on it. I was really excited to see the Professor in Endgame. Spoilers if anybody hasn't seen it.
Spoilers, come
on. But I was just disappointed that he didn't do anything like really spectacular, like Hulk-like.
Yeah, the end battle. The end battle was a perfect time for him to.
What I really would have loved to see, and this is something that I was hoping they would have adapted from the Onslaught storyline, if you're familiar with that. When they were the big battle, when like the entire Marvel universe was fighting against Onslaught, and he had that big force field up, and Professor Hulk was there, and he's trying to bust through that shield, and he can't, and he turns to, I think it was to Jean Grey, and he says, "You need to turn off Banner. I can't get the strength that I need to break through that shield." So she goes in his mind and turns Banner off, and Savage Hulk comes out, and he's like, "Madder Hulk get, stronger Hulk get. Hulk is angry," and he just bashes through. I just would have loved to have seen something like that. Something. I wanted to see him do something, and it was pretty much.
Hulk,
what's that?
World Breaker Hulk, man, that would have been.
Yeah, it's something. It's just the things that he did in the movie. Banner could have done. Yeah. Except for, handling the power of the stones. But really, I mean, I wanted to see him kick wholesale ass, and I didn't get to see that.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of stuff leading up to it. Like when, Black Widow died. I thought that might have started, maybe, flicked a switch. I watched a lot of the YouTube things, and they said that that it might be leading up to something different, better, as the cosmic kind of thing. Instead of just like regular what they did with Infinity and all that stuff in game, they're leading up to a bigger something. They even mentioned that Hulk might be an enemy, like it might be one of the bad guys and something.
I heard a rumor that maybe they might bring in the Maestro. Which would be really, really, really cool.
I saw that too. I would love. I wish they would do a Hulk, movie with, World War Hulk or something like that, or Planet Hulk and everything. I would love to see that. But, anyways, well, we can talk about that all day, because I what they did with him, it was really sad. He would have even been in the movie and nobody would even notice. I think, to be honest. I mean, so especially the first one, I was like, come on now, this is Hulk. I mean, this is Hulk. I mean, golly, I just sorry.
I love Smash.
Yeah, I smashed something, but I mean, it just made me mad. Like they had so much potential to do with his character, and he gets slapped around by, Thanos, and he's gone. I'm just like, come on now, what are you? Come on. Yeah. Anyways, all right, let's get back to the questions, man. Good. All right, so we talked about Blackout and Shout. So let me ask you this: so when you get home, from your job and everything, how do you like to relax? Do you like to, take pictures? Do you, do anything like, what do you like to do to relax, to wind and everything?
Well, I do like to play video games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I used to really be into competitive fighting games like Street Fighter, and whatnot. And I actually used to do some competition. I wasn't anything really serious with it, but I did go out to local tournaments, and I did go out to Las Vegas to compete.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah. We went out to Evo in Las Vegas 4 years running. So that was from 2009 to 2012. So
nice.
So that was a lot of fun. Lately, though, I'm not really big on multiplayer games too much anymore. So I just like to sit back and relax and play a single player game. There's a game that just came out. Are you familiar with the Castlevania series?
Yeah, I mean, the older I haven't played. I mean, I played the one.
Well, if you remember Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the director of that game left Konami and decided to make his own spiritual successor. So he basically made a new Castlevania game in all but name. It's called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Okay. So legally, it has no connection to Castlevania, but it's pretty much a Castlevania game. And it just released last week. It's $40. It's available on all systems, PC, PS4, Xbox, and Switch. And let me tell you, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic game. So I've been putting a lot of time into that.
Okay, so very nice. That's cool. It's always good to have something like that to and everything. Input asked question: what shirt is he wearing? It looks like the FHA logo. It is the Hardcore Collector. It's a Facebook group in Facebook. Duh, it's a Facebook group.
Represent.
Yeah, the Hardcore Collectors. It's a good group and everything. Go check it out. You can order. You actually get a hold of Mike Kincaid. He's one of the. I guess he's the admin, right? Of the group and everything. Get a hold of him. He sells a lot of shirts and everything. And the Starscream shirt I wear in some of my reviews, I bought that from him. I bought a couple shirts from him and everything. He's a good dude. I'm surprised they have not been in the chat yet. So I don't know. Kind of upset about that. I have to talk to him about that. But anyway. So let's talk about the last stuff. And when I go into the last stuff, I always say I don't want anything bad to happen to anything. So if you could have one last meal, what last meal would you have?
Ooh, I have actually thought about this before, but it would have to be longanisa and fried rice.
Okay.
So, longanisa is a Filipino breakfast sausage.
Oh, okay.
And it's a sweet cured sauce. Well, there's actually lots of different varieties, and they range from like sweet to like almost sour. And there's different ways of making it too, like because there's so many islands, there's just so many different ways and variations of it.
Oh yeah.
But I like the sweet cured kind. My mom made it when I was young, and it's the best tasting sausage you'll ever have.
Very nice.
It's sweet, it's fatty, it's delicious.
Yeah. That's all you need right there. Yeah. You already got me hooked on just the sweet and fatty. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good on that one. Nice.
Yeah. So longanisa and fried rice. That would be my last meal if I got to choose.
All right, very good. So, are you a fan of cereal? And if you are, what's your favorite type of cereal?
Oh, that's a toss-up between Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Lucky Charms.
Nice. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't really care for it very much, but a lot of people I've asked on the panel have said that Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
They just I think within the last year they came out with a new variation called churros. They're the tubes that look like churros and stuff. Those are so good. I mean, it's basically just Cinnamon Toast Crunch in a different shape, but it soaks up the milk differently, and it's just really good.
I know a lot of the cereals are doing stuff. There was a cereal just recently called Fruit Loops with Lucky Charms. I had the Fruit Loops and the marshmallows.
Oh yeah,
but I can't find it anymore. It was so good, but not good for you at all. But it was so good. Oh my God, just a sugar rush. Oh, very nice.
I just recently picked up a box of just chocolate marshmallows.
Yeah, they're doing. I mean, they're making so much. It's just a different variations, but yeah, I think I like crunch berries, but now they have one that just berries. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. I mean, whatever, but that's cool. All right, moving on. So what are your favorite movies? What is a movie that you could watch like at the beginning, the middle, the end? It doesn't matter. It's just one of those movies that just stuck with you a long time. I know there's a lot of movies out and everything, but what's one of your favorite movies that you just go to?
Uh, um, Shawshank Redemption is one.
Oh, okay, nice.
I can, no matter what point it's on, I can sit and watch it. You
Mhm.
know, I love that movie. I can just watch it all the time. So, and Pulp Fiction is another one.
Oh, okay, very nice. Very
So
nice.
it's endlessly quotable.
Very nice.
So,
I swear I thought you was going to say the Bay movies, but sorry.
no.
And anything with John, John Bailey, because that's Jed loves John Bailey. I like John Bailey. He's fine. I have nothing against him. He's a good dude. Are you a big concert kind of guy? And who was your first concert you ever went to?
Oh, my first concert. I guess this counts. In seventh grade, my class, or actually my school, won a contest to get Vixen to come and play live at our school.
Oh, nice, man.
So Vixen came to our school and played. This was when I was in seventh grade, and I remember the drummer was throwing drumsticks out into the crowd, right?
Yeah.
And I'm standing there and I'm jamming. His music's awesome.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I see this thing come flying at my face.
Oh,
I just caught the glass thing. I dodge out of the way, and I look down. I see a bunch of people just jumping on the ground trying to grab it. And it was then I realized it was a drumstick. So I almost got nailed in the face with a drumstick at my first concert.
That would have been a great story to tell.
So Vixen was my first, and then I think I didn't go to another concert again until much later, when U2 came to Philadelphia. Mike got tickets. Mike was really into U2 at the time. I was living with him.
Okay.
We were roommates, and so we all went and saw U2 down in Philadelphia when they were on their Pop Mart tour. Okay. And that was a lot of fun too. That was a really great concert. So,
man, Vixen, man.
Yeah.
Hans and the drummer was a brunette. She had black hair, I think. But yeah, I like some Vixen. And my first was Brittany Fox, Lita Ford, and Poison.
Nice.
I've seen Poison. Poison, one of my favorite bands and everything.
We saw Poison one time. They were playing with Quiet Riot, Rat, and Warrant.
I saw that. That was back in 2012 or something?
No, it was earlier than that. It had to be in the early 2000s, I think.
Was it one of the reunion tours? I guess one of the.
I don't even remember really the circumstances behind it. I know I went with Mike and some of Mike's bandmates.
Yeah.
At the time. So
it was Poison, Quiet Riot, Enough's Enough, and Warrant. When I saw them, they grab people different, bands and everything.
Yeah.
And everything. So yeah, Brother Kyle said U2 sucks. And hey everybody, whatever. Okay, come on now.
Now, like their newer stuff isn't all that great, but classic U2.
I have to say, I'm not going to say they suck, but I'm just not a big U2 fan. So whatever. I'm sorry. So if you go back to the question, so if you could have, golly, let me get this out before I start stuttering. Jeebus. So if you had to stop collecting, I don't want, like I said, I don't want anything bad to happen to you or anything. Would you be satisfied with your collection you have right now? And if you started collecting again, would you change up the way you collect?
If I had to stop collecting, but I would get to keep what I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything you have right now, just you had to stop. Would you be satisfied with what you have right now?
I think so. That itch to buy would always be there, I think, though.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But no, I think I'd be very satisfied because I have so much crap. I have so much stuff. I have stuff to display for days. So, no, I would definitely be satisfied with what I have. If I were to start up again, I would definitely change things up because I would definitely try to keep a more narrow focus.
Okay. Yeah.
And just try not to branch out into too much other stuff. I think that was something that I don't regret, but if I had a chance to do it over again, I would definitely, narrow my focus.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, would you, drop some of the the SH Figure Arts and stuff, and Marvel Legends? I mean, would you just stick to Transformers, or would you still branch out to other?
I would probably stick with Transformers and one line of superhero action figures, I think.
Okay.
So
would you focus on Transformers? Would you focus on a different, would you do you do everything for Transformers, like Legends, Chug, and Masterpiece?
No, actually, I'm pretty much Masterpiece. I was until the Siege line came out. Then I started picking those up.
Good job.
Yeah, no, the Siege line's awesome.
It is. I'm so excited. It just feels like that somebody that they're doing this loves Transformers.
Yeah,
some of the lines you just feel like they're not really loving the brand. But this, I feel like somebody whoever got a hold of this stuff was like, I'm a Transformer fan and I want this stuff to be good.
Yeah.
Not MP quality, but just good enough for everybody, kids and adults, would be satisfied and everything. So
yeah, you can definitely tell there's a difference between this new line and what came before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And actually, the most recent lines before this, you could see that change coming about, but it really did come to the fore with this new line, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would think it was started with Combiner Wars. I think that you could tell from Combiner Wars to Titan Returns. Powder Primes kind of stalled. I wasn't too excited for Powder Primes, or Power of the Primes. What do you call it? But I like Titan Returns. I think that was a good line. I think it has some really good, strong characters. Trigger Happy and Misfire and all that stuff. I think they had some really good ones. But Powder Primes, I don't know what was up with the Prego mode. I don't know what the big old chest things. That was weird. Anyways, so do you think that you will ever stop collecting?
I don't know. If circumstances change financially, then yeah. I mean, if April and I ever have a kid or whatever, then yeah, I think I would have to stop then.
Yeah.
But and like I said before, if I had to stop, I think I would be satisfied with what I got.
Yeah.
So, and I'd actually probably trim it down a bit. So, but I mean, for the most part, I think I'll always be collecting something.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Great. Oh man, I missed this. Brother Kyle said YouTube makes me want to hang myself from a Joshua tree. Come on now. But anyway.
What's up, Brother Kyle?
So yeah, that's a good point. So with the ever stop collecting, and you just mentioned that you have a girlfriend and everything. So what does she think of your collecting, and does she collect anything herself?
No, she doesn't collect. She regards my collecting with tolerance is the correct word, maybe, I think. No, she likes that I have a hobby. She thinks I spend too much money on it.
Yeah.
So
we all do.
She likes to give me shit about it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, my wife's the same way. But my wife knew at the time before we got together. She knew that what I did, everything. As long as the bills get paid, that she doesn't matter. Like you said, she does, think that I spend way too much and everything. But on the other hand, she's like, well, why don't you get this? When I ask her, can I get this? She's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, well, so why are you gonna gripe at me that I spend too much, but then you enable me to buy the stuff and everything's like, come on now. But
let me tell you just how great April is. Back when the Masterpiece Ramjet came out, I had it pre-ordered, and I was all excited about it and everything. But then the reviews started coming out, and I was also at a time where I really kind of didn't need to spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
So I decided to sell mine to Mike because Mike wasn't able to get in on the pre-order because he always pre-orders every official, at least one, just to keep in the box. And he didn't get in on the pre-order on this Ramjet. So I told him that I'd sell him mine. And when I mentioned this to April, like she over the phone and everything, she started crying.
Wow.
Because she thought that I was selling it because I needed money, and she's like, I don't want you to sell your stuff, and I'm like, honey, I'm choosing to do this. It's not out of necessity.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, that's nice. Oh,
yeah, it was really sweet. So,
oh my goodness, now everybody's be like, oh, he's got a heart. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. Nice. So, let's see. So, where would you like? So, Transformers has been around for 35 years now, a little more over. Where would you like to see Transformers go to keep your interest another 35 years, like with comics or a show or movies or anything like that? Where would you like to see that?
I think Transformers is best served with a series or some sort of accompanying fiction.
Okay.
I would love to see a new series that has a serious tone to it.
Okay.
More of an adult tone, but something that can be enjoyed by everybody, but still take itself seriously.
Okay.
And if possible, as few human characters as possible, I think.
Yeah.
I would like to see something on Cybertron about kind of like what IDW did.
Mm-hmm.
Where it focuses on the Transformers and their story themselves.
Yeah.
We don't need the whole surrogate human thing where we have put ourselves in the place of or the audience puts themselves in the place of the human character. We don't need that anymore. They've done that before. Yeah. I also like to see them do something different. Like to see them branch out into with new characters and new stories other than the standard Optimus Prime, Megatron. I love Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah.
Aside from Jazz, he's my favorite character.
Yeah.
But move on from that. I want to see something new.
Yeah.
No Beast Wars. Shout out to Stasis Locke and Tyler. But no Beast Wars. But let's just branch out to something new and different.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure what, but that's what they get paid for, right?
Well, yeah, and that would always follow that question up is, and you answered it. Would you like to see them do a whole new, just like forget the G1 stuff, forget everything that we've done, Optimus Prime, Megatron, all that stuff, and start with a new core cast of characters and go something from that, and maybe do something like that way or something.
Absolutely, I would love to see just new ideas.
Yeah,
I think that for it to have that kind of longevity, you need to have new ideas.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think Siege, you said you wanted to see something. I think Siege is going to do that. I hope it does this, with the new Netflix series and anything.
Yeah.
That they start off, we get some backstory. I would love to see something like an All Hail Megatron kind of series, and introduce, how they became, and how Orion Pax became Optimus Prime. We got a little bit in G1, but I would love to see it further, like a deep, storyboard behind that and how we got all these characters and everything. And I think Siege is going to hopefully do that, and forget coming to Earth, do the first season, all on Cybertron, even do the second season on Cybertron. And then maybe season 3 go to the Earth and then, start that off and everything. Because, like you said, we don't need the humans. It's played out. We don't need Spike. Whatever.
No.
We need Chip Chase.
Humans are trash anyway.
Yeah, but Chip Chase can come. He can.
He's part machine, right?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so let's see. Let me ask. Let me go over here. I got some more questions. So, how do you? I can't answer that because you don't display your collection right now. Give me a little preview of how you think you're going to display your collection when you get everything set up.
Well, shout out to Jed. He gave me a great idea. And this is something that I think that he read somewhere. Because I do have a lot of space in my basement, I'm going to take my DTOFs and spread them out because they're glass cases.
Okay.
They can be viewed from all angles.
Yep.
So I'm going to spread them out and do like a museum display where you can walk in between them and look at them from all angles.
Oh, yeah.
Characters facing in all directions, not just standing in one direction.
Yeah.
He said he told me we talked about it on the podcast on Blackout and Shout. Most people when they set up their DTOS, they line them up. So now against a wall. So now you've pretty much eliminated 3 viewing angles from a glass case.
Yeah.
So so that's what I want to do. I want to have those details spread out, so you can walk in between them. And then I'm going to line up bookshelves along the one wall, and put all my superhero action figures and other stuff that don't fit in the details in there. So.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I've thought about that because I have 2 details over here, and they're up against the wall, like you said. But I wondered if I had big enough room, I was going to put like 4 in the middle, and then you can walk around it. But you're talking about walking in between also.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So that'd be pretty cool. You put like 4 or something like that, and you can walk in between it, and then have. Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah. The only thing is I got to try and figure out how I'm gonna do lighting on those, because I don't want to have cables like coming from my ceiling or on the floor or anything.
Yeah, so, a lot of people are doing that. I don't care. I got some cheap lights from Home Depot, and but I've seen people do it. Skullface and all of them do that. They light up all their stuff.
Yeah, he's got some really, really awesome displays.
Yeah, he does.
What I've seen on his channel.
Yeah, he's got some beautiful stuff. So cool, very nice. So, if someone gave you $1,000, would you do the adult thing and pay bills, or would you buy toys?
Oh, I would have to do the adult thing and pay bills, I think, right now. So,
okay.
Yeah, I got some bills I got to catch up on. So, I've been kind of cutting back a little bit on my toy spending. So,
okay, very nice. You're a responsible adult. Good job.
Yeah, once I do the adulting, though, that frees up more of my income to go back towards toys again.
That's true. Well, most people say, I would do 80-20, maybe take $200 out and buy something nice, and then, $800, on bills and all that stuff. All right, cool. Very nice. So, do you like cookies? And if you do, are you a crunchy or a soft cookie guy?
I love cookies. And that the second part depends on the cookie.
Okay.
So, I like soft snickerdoodles.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay.
I also like hard snickerdoodles, but anyway, but I like hard chocolate chip cookies.
Okay, very nice. Do you like Oreos?
I do like Oreos.
Very nice.
They're not my favorite, but I do enjoy Oreos. So
okay, very nice, very nice. Adam said you could run power in the floor and have a plug on the floor. I guess you could.
Yeah, I've actually thought of that too. I could probably talk to my brother-in-law about setting that up too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So, with speaking of food and everything, how do you say? I was talking to my wife and everything. We ordered a cheesecake, and she ordered caramel on her cheesecake. I asked her, "Why do you say caramel?" I say caramel. So, do you say caramel or caramel?
No, I say caramel. I'm a caramel guy.
Okay. Whatever. Y'all are wrong. I'm just gonna put that out there. That is wrong. I just want to hear what everybody else says. No, it's just weird. I've always said caramel, and then she said I would like caramel on my cheesecake. I was like, that's weird. But just a silly little question I like to ask. So what do you think? Let me word this. What do you think of the fandom right now? Do you pay attention on Facebook? Do you think it's a cesspool of stuff and everything, or do you just don't care? You don't even pay attention to it.
Well, I'm actually an admin in the THC group, so I do see all the posts that go up there. So shout out to THC, hardcore collectors. But I mean, there are toxic elements to any fandom. It's really bad when you have people involved with the making of these franchises that we love having to distance themselves from it because of how they're being treated by fans.
Oh, that's a good point. Nice.
It's terrible. The guy that played Jar Jar Binks was almost driven to suicide because of the harassment and all the mistreatment that he'd gotten over a dumb character. I mean, that's really sad, and it's awful. So I don't believe, though, that that's the majority of the fandoms. I think that's just a vocal minority. I truly believe that most of these people are here because they love these franchises. They love being a part of it. They love being part of the community and talking and stuff. So, I think those bad apples are just just a small small portion
Yeah,
of it.
small
Just
percentage,
they
yeah,
just
small
the
percentage, yeah.
squeaky wheel gets the grease.
But though it is a small percentage, but they're the loudest
Yeah.
usually because they
Hmm.
want to stir up stuff, the trolls and
Absolutely.
everything.
And
everything.
and you gotta tune that out. That's all just noise. I mean,
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many times, like I used to engage that sort of thing. I used to go in there and argue, guns blazing and stuff.
Yeah,
And
and
now
didn't do anything, didn't solve anything.
no, no one has ever changed their mind or changed their opinion
Exactly.
after an argument on the internet. It's never happened in the history of the internet. Never,
Exactly.
not once. And you gotta, when you are getting ready to try and engage someone like that and offer a counter argument, just ask yourself, is it worth the headache?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
it going to matter? Does it matter?
Yeah.
And what else could you be doing with your time? Something more productive.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I don't usually engage that stuff. I mean, sometimes I will when I'm feeling like in a trolling mood. I don't know, but usually for the most part, I try and stay out of that stuff. Now, like I said, as being an admin, you gotta you have to watch that sort of thing, make sure it doesn't get out of control and
regulate it. Yeah.
Bud. But as far as like just engaging in those conversations, I just try to stay out of it.
Yeah. There's so many times that I've topped out paragraph after paragraph of stuff, and then I'm like, do I really want to get into this? Is it really worth to say anything? Because it's not going to change, like you said, it's not going to change anybody's mind. You're still going to think your way, and I'm going to think my way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it is. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to delete it and not even just scroll on through and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I found actually it's really therapeutic to actually write a response and then delete it.
Yeah, you're just like, all right, I got that off my chest a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's time to move on and everything.
Get it in words and then.
Yeah, and you're like, but you didn't really prove anything. You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Mr. Josh from SLB, stupid little brother fella, he said hi to me and you,
Josh.
everything, and he said the shameless plug for the THC. Whatever. That's what we're here for. Kabar, everyone hit that like button. Yes, please. Thank you. I'd really appreciate that. Really helps the channel out and everything. So, does anybody have any questions for Mr. Levy? He's on the podcast, Blackout Shack. I don't know. I'm going to I don't have them in there right now, but I'm going to put the links up to in the description. So everybody go check that out. They're really a bunch of good guys, really nice. I've known these guys for a couple of years now, and I've got to hang out with them and everything. And, they, accepted me also. They brought me into the, Blackout Shout thing and everything. I actually got to be on an episode, which is my highlight now. I can die now and I'm good, because I got to be on Blackout Shout. But yeah, really good, bunch of wonderful guys and everything. Definitely go check them out, and I'll put the link and everything. And I have one more question, and if anybody don't ask anything, where do you see Blackout Shout in 5 years?
Where do I see Blackout Shout in 5 years? Well, I don't know. I think I'd like to think that we'll still be around. I think we're gonna have, eventually we're gonna have to focus on something other than Transformers.
That's a good point. Very nice. Yeah.
I'm just wondering how long that topic conversation is going to be around. But we already do branch out into other topics and on our show. We talk about all sorts of different things, from toys to life to movies and all sorts of other pop culture stuff. So so I think we'll be around. I mean, hopefully I don't choke Jed to death by then. I'm kidding, Jed.
No, he's not. But that's fine. That's fine. That's a good point. And we've talked about it on Sharecast, because, and Bobby's mentioned a lot of times, the well's running dry, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very hard. We're having to do more discussions now because the news is just not there. But this week we had, which the episode will air tonight, we had maybe like 4 things to talk about. Mm-hmm. One thing for third party, and it was Legends. And the rest was like, the Siege stuff. So, we have a wonderful discussion about the 3A Bumblebee and stuff. Mm-hmm. But like you just said, it's harder. It's getting hard to, discuss Transformers. Like you already talked about everything. And if not the news is there, then what are you going to talk about, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And then y'all do a bi-weekly, so y'all do it every 2 weeks. Have y'all thought about going to a once a week thing, or is it just the scheduling is the issue with it?
It's just kind of a scheduling issue. Mike and Jed are, they're both really busy.
Mm-hmm.
Jed has the sister podcast, Back and Forth, which
I'm on there. Yay.
So for him to for those guys to jump to weekly, I think would be a big challenge for them. I mean, for me, it's not really. I don't really have too much eating up my schedule in that regard. So I mean, it wouldn't be a problem for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it would be a big challenge for those guys to move it up to a week. We were weekly for a little while. But then I remember the one summer Mike was playing baseball, and so we had to cut it back down to 2 weeks, and then we just kept it in that format. So
okay, yeah, he used to be. I mean, he plays softball. He played baseball, softball. He's in the band. Everything, and I'll try to get him. I do a Transformer Live, which you're welcome to come on anytime. I'll ask you if you want to come on. We talk, about a discussion question, and I asked Mike to come on the other day, and he had band practice and everything. So yeah, he's a busy man. Plus, he's got a better half and everything. And I hope she's okay. I hope she's really okay. I mean, I know, everybody asks her if she's okay, but
she gets that question a lot.
I know. I'm serious. I hope she's okay, man. Vanessa. I'm gonna try to get you on too, Vanessa. If you're watching, I know you're not watching, but anyways, I think Mike will watch. I'm trying to get her on to see if she would like to do a little around 30 minutes and everything. So very nice. Well, I don't have any more questions. I don't. And if anybody's gonna ask anything, there's a couple people watching now. So I guess I will say thank you so much for coming on, dude. I'm it's an honor to have you on. And everything. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. So I guess you could promote whatever you want to. I know you've been promoting throughout this show, but you can do it again. Why not?
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me on. The pleasure was all mine.
Awesome.
So, but you can all catch me on the Blackout and Shout podcast with Mike and Jed. We do it every 2 weeks. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, wherever you find podcasts, we're probably there. Jed made sure of that. So, and you can also see me in the Hardcore Collectors. Usually there.
It's a good group. It's a good group. Yes. Really good group. Yeah, very nice and everything.
So
they act like they're hardcore, but they're really not. Come on. No, it's good. No, they're really good. It's a good group. It's one of the one of my favorite groups I go to, and when I go through Facebook and I look through stuff and everything. Hardcore Collectors is one of the interesting because they don't really it don't get out of hand. You don't usually nip that in the bud real quick if anybody wants to be stupid. But I don't think there's a lot of stupid people in the Hardcore Collectors group that want to start trouble.
Yeah, no, they got a really, really good admin crew. So Jay and Jim and Jeremy, Ryan, Steve, they're all great guys. So
nice. Very nice.
So shout outs to them.
And I always promote my stuff in there, that thing. So whatever. They don't say anything to me, so I'm like, okay, I'll still promote. It's fine. Like I said, thank you very much. And I want to thank everybody that came in and watched. I really appreciate that. If it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be doing this. I like doing this. If you want to come on to around 30 minutes, to hit me up, man. Slide in my DMs and say, hey, I want to be asked questions and stuff. So I'll definitely, get you on everything. Hit that like button. It helps the channel out. And I'm kind of sad I didn't see Mike or Jed in here, man.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to have a word with them.
Yeah, that was not supporting at all. So, and I told everybody in our little chat that you were going to be on, and so I'm gonna have to quit Back and Forth now. Thanks, Jed. Good job. And I quit SCU too, so it doesn't matter. But anyway. All right. Well, thank you very much. And go down and hit that like button. Go down and sub if you haven't already. I really appreciate that. And I guess I'll see you on the next around 30 minutes. And as always, be good to yourself. Hell Hasbro. And good night, folks.